Okay, so for question 1 here, we have the square root of 2x plus 1, and it's equal to x minus 1. To solve a third equation, you have to square both sides. The reason we do that is so that the square can cancel the square root. Okay, so that just leaves us with x plus 2. But on this side, you actually have to multiply the bracket x minus 1 by itself. Okay, it's the definition of squaring something. Right, now on the right-hand side, we have x squared minus 1x minus another 1x, and then negative 1 times negative 1 is plus 1. Okay, we just FOIL out the brackets there. And then I'm going to be taking these terms over to my right-hand side, which means I have to subtract this 2x from these x's, and also I'll be subtracting this one from that one, which actually just means that they will cancel each other out like that. Okay, so here you have negative 2x, and then you're also subtracting this 2x, so that gives you negative 4x, and like we've discussed, this one will cancel with that if you take it over, leaving us with this quadratic here, x squared minus 4x. So take out x as a common factor, and that would leave us with x minus 4, which means your answer is either 0 or positive 4. Now, when you're done with an equation like this, you always need to check your answers, okay? You always need to check your answers. So how do I do that? Well, substitute x equal to 4 into your equation. So, okay, on my left-hand side, I'm going to say the square root of 2 times 4 minus 1. Plus 1. And that gives me the answer of 3. Now we're going to do the same thing on the right-hand side, okay? You want to also substitute 4 as x. So that's 4 minus 1, which also gives you the answer 3. If your left-hand side is equal to your right-hand side, then you know that this result works. So I guess this is going to be the false one then. Let's just test it quickly. If we do the square root of 2 times 0 plus 1, that's equal to positive 1. And if I do 0 minus 1, that gives me negative 1. So positive 1 is not equal to negative 1. So it certainly means that this option here is false. And the only one that's true here is x equal to 4. Okay. Now for the next question, this is not just any inequality. This is a quadratic inequality. Okay, whenever you're faced with a quadratic inequality, you'll have to factorize first and then calculate the critical values. So my factors here for 8 would be 4 and 2. And in our brackets, we'll have x minus 4 and x plus 2, which means our critical values is x is equal to 4 and x is equal to negative 2. Right, at this point now, I want you to draw a parabola for yourself, right? Because quadratics can be represented with this shape over here. And then for the smaller x value, put in negative 2. For the bigger x value, put in 4. Okay, they are asking, where is this quadratic less than 0? Okay, everything less than 0 would be the things that are below this x-axis. So it's this part of the parabola. And the x values that satisfies that part of the parabola would be all the x values between negative 2 and 4. So that's your answer. Your inequality is all the x values between negative 2 and 4. Okay. Simple as that. Right, then on to this last example here. We have a simultaneous equation. You are required to solve x simultaneously. Let's write it out first. X minus 2y equal to -3. And x times y is equal to 20. Now you always want to start with the equation that looks the most simple in this case. Actually, this one does look more simple maybe. But the reason I don't want to use this one is if I have to make x or y the subject there, then we're going to end up with fractions. Like x will be equal to 20 over y, because you'd have to divide by y on both sides, or y would be equal to 20 divided by x. And that's also going to give me a fraction, which I don't really want. Instead, let me rather work with this equation. So x can be equal to 2y, minus 3. We simply take the -2y over to the other side. Then what you want to do is substitute this x for what you got for x here. Okay, I'm going to put the y in front now. So we have y multiplied by x. X is equal to 2y minus 3. Distribute, so 2y squared minus 3y, and that's equal to 20. Okay, I'm just going to carry the 20 over, and then we could either make use of the quadratic formula or we could factor. I think I'm just going to factorize this one. The factors of our quadratic here, I'm forgetting the 2 there, is 2y and y, 20 and, let me see, 5 and 4. Yes, 5 and 4, minus 4 plus 5. Okay, so for this, you'll get two answers, either -5 over 2 or +4. Let's substitute these answers back into the equation that we started with, which was x is equal to 2y minus 3. So plug in either y value, so either this one or that one, doesn't really matter. In fact, you have to plug in both. So let's do the 4 first. Okay. 2 times 4 is 8, and 8 minus 3 is 5. Okay, so as coordinates, you want to write down where x is 5, y is 4. Like that. And then now let's do the other one. I'm going to substitute -5 over 2 minus 3. Here you can see that the 2's will cancel, leaving us with -5 minus 3, which is equal to -8. Okay, and then that would be your other solution. We see here where x is -8, y is -5 over 2. And those are your final answers. There, and there.